Greetings, Select Tribe, Jadine Palmer here, Spirit Silverman for Harmony Energy Healing. And sometimes I like to respond to things that come up on here in the form of a video. It's been full moon energy too, and sometimes we might notice difference in behaviors when that's going on. Okay, and this was about a video that I made a few years ago that came up, and sometimes if someone shares and it comes up again, I'll kind of have a look at it. I'm not okay, I'll share it again. Actually to a different page because, you know, there's new people on the page that might not have seen it who might be interested in it. I mean, there might be something of value in there. I don't know. That's for each person to determine. And so someone said that there were 3 points that were brought up. What was the first part of it? Something about like maybe we don't have control, not control, due to the powers that be. And I responded to all of them on there, and so I'm going to do it on here too. The other one was talking about, okay, in the writings or the talks, who are all these fancy heroes and heroines, which I wasn't sure exactly what that meant, but I still have a response for it to the best of my understanding of it. And the other one is, don't we have to eat to survive? Very good point. What do we consume? The other one was, oh, we have no chance, not control, but chance against the powers that be, do we? And I would say, yeah, we do. This is a testing ground. We're here to be tested. And it's through our free will choice that we create our experiences and our circumstances from our choices, decisions, actions, and reactions. Okay, and so what we create by and through our thoughts, okay, and programming and conditioning, which I talk about a lot. So I suppose it's up to the individual to determine what that means to them and how they even understand that, because we are programmed to believe certain things that might keep us stuck, and there are things going on that we maybe know about and maybe we don't. Again, that comes in with the programming. We have limited, incomplete information. Are there powers out there that be? Yeah. Are they all good? No. But we have to come to a place of recognition here. We have to, hopefully, it might be helpful. We don't have to do anything. But it might be helpful to begin to remember and recognize our divinity that's been beaten out of us through falsehoods. So everyone is at different levels of awakening and awareness. So everyone has a different understanding of something. Everyone, a lot of people's are similar. So if people have been through similar experiences, when they hear it's being spoken about, they're like, I get that. And someone who hasn't been through it's like, I don't get it. Okay. So I don't know the heroes and heroine part of the comment. And the way I responded to that is what I write about. It's maybe that's bits and pieces of me that survived to tell the tales. Okay. To share knowledge gained. There through experiences, knowledge and wisdom is gained. And what do they say? Knowledge is meant to be shared. So you can choose to share that, and someone can choose to decide what it means for them, and if there's anything that they might take away from that that's helpful to them. You know what I mean? So it's up to the individual. Because there are parts of us that get injured through experience. And there are parts of us that survive, and they take that and they turn that into something good. So if you want to call that hero or heroine, yeah, maybe. But it's also alchemy, spiritual alchemy. It's transmuting something lower into something higher. And again, not everybody's going to understand that. And so okay, for a writer or someone who's a speaker or whatever, they're going to draw from experience, and also they're probably going to be channeling something from their higher self or whatever that is. However, but everybody understands it, or however things function, I don't know. So some of what I write about is trying to put a positive message in there for with tools for how to that may or may not be helpful, for how to heal, for how to work through things or whatever. Um, some of it's from experience, some of it's from learning, studying it, becoming certified in it, so that I have the knowledge of that now that I can share. But first of all, I have to understand it and use it for myself. Um, so that is shared, that is woven into what is written or these videos or whatever. Um, and how different people understand it is different. But and we also might draw on things that we're attempting to explain something that is a way that we feel or that is something that we know. Um, maybe it's a story, maybe it's truth, maybe it's both. As far as when I mean story is, how you might tell a story to get a point across. Um, so, however that's understood, I don't know. And so where you draw from to create something like that, which is basically intended to be a helpful message for healing or moving beyond things, or when people have been through horrific behaviors, um, self or others, and they're trying to come out of that and put themselves back together. So when you've been through hell like that, and when I write about a lot of this stuff, I'm speaking from experience. You might have something to share, and it might be helpful to people. So it's interesting because some people get it and they're like, yeah, 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 yeah. And they're sharing and there's positive comments, and someone comes in and wants to kind of hammer it a little bit for whatever reason. And I think it just depends on how someone is able to understand it. It's a perspective. There's many different perspectives. And then, don't we all have to eat to survive was the other comment. What are you consuming? Yes, we do. And I just even probably read something about this or heard a video about it recently that was talking about this subject, and it was about what we feed ourselves with the news, with our thoughts, with what we read, with who we hang out with the energy of other people, with what we believe, whether it's true or not, what we fight for, whether it's true or not, because we really don't have all the information. We might think we do. So what are we consuming? I don't watch corporate media anymore. That is nasty, and it's fear mongering. Um, things that are designed to get people to take sides and fight against each other. People feed off of that shit. They feed into it and they feed off of it, and then they wonder why they're not well. So what are you consuming? Food as well, but it's not just food, it's many things. Okay, yeah, we all have to eat or consume to survive. So some at some point along the path, hopefully it becomes an important point to be paying attention to what that is. What are you feeding yourself? Okay. And sometimes we don't realize the effect that it's having on us until it gets bad. And when your body starts getting beaten down by all this negative energy, sometimes it takes a while to get it back into balance, because it's all about balance. And because we have more than just our physical body, we have physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So what are we consuming? What are we feeding ourselves? And how is it serving us for our greatest and best good? And what we contribute, okay, from that, from what we take in, whether it's from cultures, politics, religions, mindsets, ideologies, taking sides and fighting. That is an energy suck. What are you giving your energy to? And how, not is it only serving you, but how is it serving the collective or the greater good, because that's important too. So just some things to think about in response to, you know, when we do stuff here on this plane, and some people maybe understand it, at least to agree, and maybe some people don't, and maybe some people try to lash out and in a way attack what they don't understand. And it might not be an attack, but it's coming from a place where they're at, which might be lower vibrational, and so the way it comes out might not be, well, it could be taken wrong. And again, you know, the stuff that I write is broad spectrum, and it's written from experiences mostly, things learned from experiences and things learned of how to get through those sort of experiences that a lot of people go through. It's just a perspective. It's my limited perspective. And some amazing tools that I've learned. And so if people don't understand what that is, I don't know. You know, if the content is something that doesn't resonate or you don't like it, I would just invite you not to follow. It might not be for you. There are certain things for certain people at certain points in their life, where they're at and what they're ready to do for their forward movement. And that's up to each individual to determine. Peace.